Hello everybody, RHSportsTV here, and we're on to the second round, and the first one, VCU versus Michigan. This was definitely one I was looking forward to. I thought it would be interesting to see VCU's havoc defense against Michigan's very conservative, as far as turnovers are concerned, offense. And Michigan ran away with it. I was once I saw Michigan just kind of run from the 18-17 lead into the 38-23 halftime lead, yeah, that's when I figured it was over. It just not a good start for VCU, and they not only were they not able to come back from it, it just got worse from there. The Rams definitely did not look like a 5 seed. They looked like a 12 seed that had pulled the upset in the first round and was lucky to be in the round of 32. So that's unfortunate. And the other side, Michigan State versus Memphis. Memphis, I knew it from the way they finished the game against the St. Mary's Gales that this Memphis Tigers team was worn out. And Michigan State, the Tigers actually hung around with the Spartans for a little while, but Michigan State eventually just put away Memphis. And in other news, Keith Appling looks like he did something to his wrist, I believe. So that kind of sucks for Michigan State if he goes out, because even though he's been inconsistent recently, I mean, he's still a good player. He's still definitely one of the best point guards in the Big Ten, potentially even in the country if he's on. Next up, Colorado State was a team I had maybe given Louisville a little bit of trouble, and yeah, maybe they didn't. Louisville just dominated this one. Louisville looking wow, sorry if my voice was really loud there. Louisville looking every bit of the team that got the #1 overall seed. Went on such a rampage at the end of the year, following their 3-game losing streak, only losing one more from the rest of the season after that 3-game losing streak in January, and that one being 5 overtimes to boot. And they only lost because of the 17 points from Garrett Sherman. He was a really good bench player, but still a bench player nonetheless. But Louisville shut down Colorado State's front court, and Russ Smith led the Louisville Cardinals into the next round. Harvard versus Arizona. Harvard pulled the shocker over New Mexico, and Arizona was just like, nope, not gonna happen. Arizona got off to a good start, and Harvard, obviously been a 14 seed. They're not gonna handle the 14 or 18 point deficit very well coming out of halftime, and they didn't. Harvard Crimson were sent packing, unable to be the first Sweet 16 Ivy League school since Cornell in 2010, and the Arizona Wildcats are on the next round. After their inconsistencies during conference play, you know what? They'll take that, because they got a shot now. Oregon just dominated Oklahoma State, and St. Louis came in thinking, you know what? Maybe we can stop Oregon. They didn't stop Oregon. Oregon looking like a team that is very pissed off at the community, the committee for underseeding them so badly at the 12 seed. I think they should have been a 9 or 10 seed, maybe. I thought before the tournament they should have been an 11 seed, but winning the Pac-12 tournament's got to count for something, am I right? But they beat the Billikens, a pretty hot Billikens team at that, and with that, they're on to play Louisville. That being actually the only confirmed matchup as of the end of the day, just because that was the only region with 3 teams, or 3 games playing. So, you know what, Oregon can prove that they were severely underseeded against the Louisville Cardinals, and maybe they can get in the Elite 8. And last time that happened, and the only time that's happened for a 12 seed, was in 2002 with Missouri. So Oregon Ducks really have a shot to do something historic here, but it's going to be tough. In the other one, the Butler Bulldogs at a 6 seed. That's definitely their comfortable place. And Marquette, you know, they had to rally to beat a 14 seed. That's not a good start, is it? No, it is not a good start. But Vanderblue is a freaking magician. How that dude scored 29 points. Well, I mean, it's not really that amazing. I mean, it's 29 points, but still. Marquette rallied from an 8-point halftime deficit. Beat the Butler Bulldogs at their own game, basically. And Rodney Clark had a good game with 24, but it was in vain. The Bulldogs fall. The Marquette Golden Eagles are miraculously in the Sweet 16. And here we're at the big one. No, not Syracuse versus Cal. Wichita State versus Gonzaga. A lot of folks had the winner of Pittsburgh and Wichita. Most of them in Pitt. Actually beating Gonzaga. But Wichita State getting in, they still had a good shot at beating Gonzaga. Not as great of a shot as people thought the Panthers did, but the Gonzaga Bulldogs, for sure, definitely still the favorite. And to say this is a shocker, like the Wichita State team name would indicate, that would be kind of a misnomer. I mean, yeah, Gonzaga's good, but they were they were definitely criticized as being the weakest number 1 seed, and that argument, I don't know if I believed in that argument. I think I was more with Kansas on that one. I mean, seriously, a team that loses to TCU should not be a 1 seed, in my opinion. Western Kentucky improved that. But anyway, this Gonzaga team was definitely, I didn't think it held water until the close game against Southern. Because, I mean, I still think Kansas looked worse against Western Kentucky, so I still think Kansas should have been probably the worst 1 seed, but the argument definitely doesn't hold water now that Wichita State took them out. So the Zags are sent off in the round of 32. Again, Gonzaga Bulldogs, Kevin Pangos and Kelly Olynyk did it in the first round. They couldn't do it here. Shockers on in the next round, and they won't pull a shocker there because they'll play either a 12-seeded Ole Miss team or a 13-seeded LaSalle team. And Ole Miss would be a good matchup. LaSalle, Wichita would definitely be advantageous. But Wichita is off to their Sweet 16 for the first time since 2006. So good for them. Maybe this time they won't fall to an 11 seed that's on a giant tear towards the Final Four. And in the other one, Syracuse versus California. This is really the only game I watched from start to finish, basically. And Syracuse looked pretty good in this one. I say that, and I don't mean it. Nope. No, Syracuse did not look good in this one. They missed a lot of free throws. They definitely missed a lot of opportunities. On offense, they didn't look too good. Michael Carter-Williams still looking pretty good, though, I will admit. James Sutherland got into foul trouble early. That definitely hindered the offense. But the defense absolutely won this game for the Orange. I mean, forcing something like 14 or 15, 16 even turnovers from the Golden Bears. That was just a killer for Cal. Alan Crabb and Justin Cobbs, Cal's 2 best players, were both complete non-factors. You could almost say Alan Crabb was detrimental to the team today. He made a lot of bad mistakes. He made a few good plays, but he definitely made a lot of bad mistakes. And because of that, the Cal Bears are going out of the tournament. So, Michigan will play either Kansas or North Carolina, so that should be an interesting one. Michigan State will take Duke or Creighton. I believe it'll be Duke, but probably, shouldn't count out Doug McDermott. Louisville and Oregon, as you know. Harvard lost, so Arizona will take on either Ohio State or Iowa State. So, yeah. And then Marquette in the East, they will take on either Miami or Illinois. Wichita State will take on either LaSalle or Ole Miss, as previously mentioned. And Syracuse will take on either Indiana or Temple. And then finally, the other Sweet 16 game that I didn't mention, because we already have one confirmed. That means we have one with both teams unconfirmed. And that one's either going to have Florida or Minnesota versus either Florida Gulf Coast or San Diego State. And in other news, Team Minnesota beat UCLA, reportedly fired their head coach Ben Howland. I think that's a good move for UCLA. Been a long time coming for that one. Ben Howland has definitely had an unstable tenure, to be frank, to be to be generous almost. It was like a roller coaster, not just any roller coaster though. That was a very, very creaky and high-speed roller coaster. In some cases, it was crawling, you know. Yeah, but anyway, that's it for the day 3 of the tournament, day 1 of the round of 32, and with that, this has been the RH Sports TV, and have a good night or day. And I guess comment on whether you think the Ben Howland firing was a good idea, and I don't know. I guess who you think your champion is going to be at this point in time. So no Georgetown, no New Mexico.